Hi guys, it's Richard Butler, Video Community Manager here at PitchGround. In this tutorial for Salesly, I want to show you how we're going to add users. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a standard user. So if I just move myself over here for 1 second, if I go down to settings and I click on all users, what you're going to see is that the option here to add new user. So I go in here and I select the country code for the mobile user. Now this is a little bit, there's quite a lot of numbers here, so you have to scroll down to add in the user. So 3-4. I'm going to fill in all the details here. I'm going to pause the screen, fill in all the details, and then I will resume once I've added that user. Okay, so I've added that user. Now the next step would be that that user would have to log into the Salesly app using obviously their phone number. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you what happens. So once I log into the app with my mobile number, it's going to come up and it's going to say that it sent an email to my email address, and I have to type in the OTP, or the one-time password. Now, once you've actually logged in and you've put in your one-time password, you're going to be asked to agree to certain terms and conditions. As always, it's important that you read those terms and conditions and ensure that you're happy in accepting them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the screen off, because I'm going to start to log into the mobile app, and I'm going to share my mobile app screen so you can see how the mobile app actually works.
Okay, so here we are with the mobile app, and what I want to show you is how I'm actually going to punch in as a sales rep, which means that I'm ready and available for work. So the first thing it does is it asks me to allow my GPS location to be used. Now you're going to see this message to say make sure that you allow the location to be used as you're using the app. So that's fine, just go to open settings, and once you've opened the settings, just change the setting there so it says location use always, and then that will do that. So go back to the app, and then what we're going to see now is how to look at your customers. So I'm just going to click on the customers there. Now it tells me that I have no customers. Now why is that? Well, the reason for that is because I haven't been assigned any customers by my manager. So I would have to go into the app and I would have to assign a customer, or as you can see there, I could actually add a customer as well. So on the go, I can actually add another customer. Okay, so in the background, what I'm doing here is I'm actually assigning that customer to this particular sales rep so that they can actually see it. And I've actually set the customer to be available for all reps. So now when I click in and I look at my customers, I can see that I have John Smith here. Now I can do different things with John Smith. I can, for example, set a visit date when I'm going to actually visit him. And on the back end, I'll actually see that that visit has been planned successfully. Now, everything I see on the web, I can actually see here. For example, opportunities. I can see the opportunity pipeline here and see everything that's going on. Now, an important thing is when a rep is out on the road, they want to manage their expenses. So I can just go into the expenses claims list and I can actually add a new claim here. So I can select a category, for example, travel. I can then put in the date. I can fill in the amount, and I can then put in any notes. Now that claim will be accessible on the dashboard for me as the super admin. Now when I'm finished for the day, what I can actually do is I can punch out exactly like an old clock in, clock out card, and I can leave a little note here and that will be reflected on the back end. Okay, so we're back. So you saw this screen in the iPhone app, and the Android will be similar, but you saw what the sales rep can do, that they can punch in and punch out. So for example, if you were working with sales reps and you were paying them on an hourly basis and commission, then you would know exactly when they'd punched in and punched out due to the geolocation. So that's a really handy thing. But let's have a look and see what's happened in Salesly. So if I just go in here, one of the things I need to always make sure is that, for example, when I go into Peter Smith as the customer here, I need to make sure Peter Smith is actually made visible to all sales team members, because this was a general customer that I created. So when I say make visible to all team members, all my team members will be able to see that particular customer. If the customer was created by a particular team member, they should just have access to that and see it. Obviously, you will be able to see it as well. So the team member, the customer that I was working with was John Smith. So if I just click on John Smith here, I should actually see that down here it says Rich Butler have to visit John Smith on the 24th of the 2nd, and it says have to visit. Okay, so it tells me the tasks that have happened here. If I go into my tasks, for example, So if I go in here, I can see all of the tasks that were done from the app. Now, if I, for example, go into attendance here, I can actually see that Richard punched in and punched out. And if I click on this, it's going to give me a view report here. So total working days, I've been 24 hours working, it says, total eligible hours, extra working days, etc. It gives me full information here. If I click on the geolocation, okay, it should tell me where that person was, okay? And then if I go to the settings here, I can actually say punch in or punch out with geofencing. So I can go in here, I can type in an area, I can enter the place name, list courts, I press OK, and that comes in. I have the punch in with geofencing, punch out. Now, monthly leaves allow how many days, notify the admin when they punch in and punch out, okay? I can also make them admin if I want, entire day tracking, and I can say the days off that they can have. So I can say, well, this guy's only having Sundays off because I want him working all the time. I click on done, and that is saved successfully there. So this is really useful for tracking your reps. Now, let me just go over here and let's go to expenses. And what I'm going to see is that Richard Butler has added a travel expense, and I can accept that or I can decline, okay? You live in the area, why are you asking for expenses? Okay, so I put that in, I click on decline, and that will then send a message to my app as well, or that should send a message to my app to say it has been declined. Now, if I go into report, I can go into expense reports, for example, expenses by team. I can see that Richie Butler has a lot of expenses. I could do a customer report, visit frequency. Okay, it hasn't been visited yet, visit report. Because I haven't actually put in the visit correctly on the app, or said that I've done the visit, it's actually not going to do that. So let me just do that now. So I've just gone back into the app as a sales rep, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the customer tab and I'm going to click on it. And when I find the customer that I'm looking for, I'm going to record that I've actually had a visit with him. So now I click on the three dots and you can see that there's a lot of different options I can use, but this option that I want is visit check-in, and when I do that, the following screen appears. From here, I can add in the meeting notes of what actually happened at the meeting, and then I can save that, and that's going to be recorded within the system, and it'll also reflect back on the web-based version of the software. Now, I just go out of there, and then what you will see is I have lots of other options. Now, it does say to me, I haven't punched in, and do I want to punch in? But I'm going to say no to that at the moment. Now remember, punching in means that you're recording your hours, but let's just go in and check that meeting there. So if I just go into my customer here, I can actually see that the visit has been recorded correctly via the app. And as I said, that'll reflect on the web-based software as well.